Let's get into it. Just like I said, Coach Colin show, sold not for sale. Pick one. Pick one. I don't know what to say anymore. Anyways, just like I said, Justin Trudeau has caved. He's bent the knee. I told you that when I was talking to this drama teacher, he was going to bend the knee. I said, let's have another phone call. I didn't even want to meet him in person. Why meet a guy like this in person? Has no spine. I would have had to hold him up like he was Joe Biden. No use in that. Justin Trudeau working overtime, as you can see, at President Trump's orders. He's shining shoes, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a little timeline in case you don't know what happened. I already made an episode about this. I just released it, and then this happened. But the timeline is Trump signs tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Then Trudeau calls the president of Mexico, Sheinbaum, I think that's how you say her name, to coordinate a effort to put tariffs on both sides, attack from both sides, right? And then she decides, I'm going to double cross him. I'm going to bend the knee quick time just to save myself, because between a rock and a hard place, a whole new definition. She's between a cartel and a Trump wall. You don't want those type of issues. So she bends the knee, and Trudeau is left on his own. President Trump had this to say before the 3 o'clock phone call that Justin Trudeau and him had.
Is there any chance that Canada or China could also get out of the tariffs after you struck a deal with Mexico?
Well, nobody's out with Mexico. We had a great talk with Mexico, and we had President Sheinbaum is a woman. I like her very much. We've had good relationships, but we have to stop fentanyl from coming in, whether I like somebody or not, and we have to stop the illegal aliens from coming in. I think we've lost 200,000 people on average a year for many years, much higher than the 100,000, could be even closer to 300,000. And they've agreed to put in 10,000 soldiers permanently, like forever, 10,000 soldiers at their side of the border and stop fentanyl and illegal aliens from coming into our country. They have a big incentive to do. Other than that, we've agreed to talk and consider various other things. We haven't agreed on tariffs yet, and maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we have a very good relationship. I also spoke with Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada, and we had a good talk in the morning, but I did ask him a couple of questions, like, banks aren't allowed to do business in Canada. Canada is very tough. Canada is very, we're not treated well by Canada, and we have to be treated well.
There you go. And then he had that phone call, and then Justin Trudeau came out and said this. I just had a good call with President Trump. Canada is implementing our $1.3 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, and personnel, enhanced coordination with our American partners, and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be protecting our border. That's not true. It's true that that's going to happen, but the fact that he's saying that's already happening, that's not true. In addition, Canada, let me make sure you guys can read that part there. In addition, Canada will be making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. That should be pretty cool to see. I wonder who they're going to pick. We will list cartels as terrorists. Wow. Ensure 24-hour, 7 days a week, eyes on the border. Wasn't happening before. Odd. Launch a Canada-U.S. joint strike task force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, money laundering. I have also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will be backing it with $200 million. Proposed tariffs will be paused for at least 30 days while we work together, which means that the tariffs that Trudeau was just threatening are not happening now. So Mexico, pause. Canada, pause. Trump is just, these guys are bending. All of this stuff that Trudeau is putting out there, this is not stuff that Trudeau wanted. He wanted to put his tariffs and have this weird economic battle between the U.S. And instead, now he's doing all of these things. These are all the things that Trump wanted. And instead of Trump having to do it on his side and spend his resources, now Mexico and Canada are using their resources to do this, which should have been happening the whole time. So I thought this was going to happen. I thought there was going to be a little bending of the knee. Let me just, I was going to read something to you on my phone, but I think I have it here too. This comedian, he makes a great point. Ben Bankus, Canadian comedian, performing in the United States as well. He says, so now the tariffs, so now no tariffs on Canada, but every idiot retailer has removed American products that they already purchased and will lose millions. So they achieved making Canada like a Soviet nation that doesn't have imported goods and nothing else. It's very, very sad. If you don't know, this was actually happening. I don't know if I have it in my bookmarks here. Let me see if I can find it. I feel like there it is. There it is. So this is actually what this gentleman's talking about. They were packing up, just packing up their stuff. This is all American product that this gentleman is, that he's packing into these boxes here. They're taking it off the shelves. Again, thought they were moving in line with Trudeau, but now Trudeau's moving the other way. What are these people to do now? Are they just going to put it back on the shelves? Hopefully they do. That would make the most sense. I mean, there's been Canadian politicians. They're like, oh, we have a bill. We sell $1 billion worth of beer and American beer and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, buddy, these are drops in the bucket to America. You gotta, you know what I mean? And you're only hurting the company. You're not actually hurting America per se. And then if you look at the company that they're talking about, any beer company really, look at where they sell a majority of their stock. It's going to be in America and abroad. Canada probably has a very small percentage, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, myself, I know for me, I mean, I know I have people in Canada who watch the show, and I'm very grateful. But if I look at my demographics, it's 6% Canada, and the rest is just the United States of America. And then there's some people in Australia and UK and like Ireland and all these different places, but mostly the U.S. Most companies are finding that. So I don't know. I knew he was going to bend the knee. I don't know what all these Canadian companies are going to do now. They're not moving it together properly. They thought they were all moving with Trudeau. Trudeau's now moved back. Now, are they going to keep moving forward? They're out of alignment. There's a lot of chaos going on. It's kind of what Trump specializes in. When he wants something done, he knows how to make chaos happen on the other side of things and let them just kind of squirm and figure it out. But I think this is gonna stick. I think the tariffs aren't gonna happen in Canada. In Canada to the U.S. I think that's gonna stop, and we'll see where Trump's at with the tariffs that he wants to put on Canada. But I think if he's getting everything he wants, he's able to pull back. I was talking with my wife. She actually made the point. She was like, I could have swore this happened his first term. And it did. He has done this once before. It's a threat. It's for him to get what he wants. Once he gets what he wants, he's good. Although there is a case to be made with keeping these tariffs on and enacting more tariffs and doing it to the point where no American citizen has to pay income tax. And that is something that Trump actually has floated. He wants to make an external revenue agency. So if that actually takes shape, we could see tariffs everywhere. Maybe they're not too high. They're not like a tax on people, but they're high enough that it actually starts financing the government and it starts making it so no American person has to pay income tax. That would be pretty cool to see. Elon Musk has even floated the idea of getting rid of property tax. So these things, they're ideas that these guys put out there, but they also have a tremendous amount of knowledge in themselves. And I'm talking about Elon Musk and Trump. And they also have a whole team of people underneath them who are giving them the numbers if these things can actually happen. So when you hear them float ideas like this, a little bit of it is, why not just should suggest this and just throw it out there? But there's more to it. There's actually numbers backing it. So these are things that could actually happen. But This episode is just about good old Justin Trudeau doing his thing on the shine box right now. He's bent the knee, just as I said he would. And I'll let you know more. For now, I'm moving on to another episode that I'm doing about U.S. aid. This is crazy. The people who brought you such glorious things as $50 million for Gaza condoms. Anyways, guys, you wait till that episode comes out. That's going to come out a little later in the day. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, helps the channel tremendously. Other than that, I'm out.